This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
Chapter 1. Changed Loyalties. Marx's Christian Writings. Today, much of the world is still Marxist. Marxism, in one form or another, is embraced by many in capitalist countries, too. There are even Christians, and amazingly, clergymen, some in high standing, who are sure that while Jesus might have had the right answers about how to get to heaven, Marx had the right answers about how to help the hungry, destitute, and oppressed here on earth. Marx, it is said, was deeply humane. He was dominated by one idea: how to help the exploited masses. What impoverishes them, he maintained, is capitalism. Once this rotten system is overthrown, after a transitional period of dictatorship of the proletariat, a society will emerge in which everyone will work according to his abilities in factories and farms belonging to the collective, and will be rewarded according to his needs. There will be no state to rule over the individual, no wars, no revolution, only an everlasting, universal brotherhood. In order for the masses to achieve happiness, more is needed than the overthrow of capitalism. Marx writes, "The abolition of religion as the illusory happiness of man is a requisite for their real happiness. The call to abandon their illusions about their conditions is a call to abandon a condition which requires illusions. The criticism of religion is therefore the criticism of this veil of tears of which religion is the halo." Allegedly, Marx was anti-religious because religion obstructs the fulfillment of the communist ideal, which he considered the only answer to the world's problems. This is how Marxists explain their position, and sadly, there are clergymen who explain it in the same way. Reverend Paul Oistreicher of Britain said in a sermon, "Communism, whatever its present varied forms of expression, both good and bad, is in origin a movement for the emancipation of man from exploitation by his fellow man. Sociologically, the Church was, and largely still is, on the side of the world's exploiters. Karl Marx, whose theories only thinly veil a passion for justice and brotherhood that has its roots in the Hebrew prophets, loathed religion because it was used as an instrument to perpetuate a status quo in which children were slaves and worked to death in order to make others rich here in Britain. It was no cheap jibe 100 years ago to say that religion was the opium of the masses. As members of the body of Christ, we must come in simple penitence, knowing that we owe a deep debt to every communist." Marxism makes an impression on people's thinking because of its success, but success proves nothing. Witch doctors often succeed too. Success confirms error as well as truth. Conversely, failure can be constructive, opening the way to deeper truth. So an analysis of some of Marx's works should be made without regard to their success. Who was Marx? In his early youth, Karl Marx professed to be and lived as a Christian. His first written work is called The Union of the Faithful with Christ. There we read these beautiful words: "Through love of Christ, we turn our hearts at the same time toward our brethren who are inwardly bound to us and for whom he gave himself in sacrifice." Marx knew a way for men to become loving brethren toward one another: Christianity. He continues, "Union with Christ could give an inner elevation, comfort in sorrow, calm trust, and a heart susceptible to human love, to everything noble and great, not for the sake of ambition and glory, but only for the sake of Christ."